Okay guys, so we finished with multiplying. We're moving on to dividing. So if I were you, I would pause the video at this point and try these warm-up questions. The first one is multiplying a binomial times a binomial, which we just did. And then the bottom one is subtraction. So I'm going to work them out for you. So you should hit pause and try them yourself. So remember, when you multiply a binomial times a binomial, the middle two terms are able to be combined and you get a trinomial. Down here, what happened here is the x squared canceled out because they equaled 0. So hopefully you were able to get that. Okay, so an important thing that might happen a lot when we are dividing is sometimes we divide something by itself. So this says, what is the quotient, which means the answer to a division problem, of any number divided by itself. So for example, 5 divided by 5, I get 1. 2 divided by 2, I would get 1. Anything divided by itself, x divided by x, I would get 1. So here's a little brief review about the laws of exponents, just like we reviewed when we did multiplying where we added the exponents. Here, it's just the opposite. We're going to subtract our exponents. So whatever they are, in this case a and b, we're going to subtract them. So here, x to the 5th divided by x squared is going to be x to the 3rd power. X to the 10th divided by x to the 9th is going to be x to the 1st power. And you don't have to put that 1 there. Okay, so the rules are simple for dividing. All you have to do is divide the coefficients, the numbers in front of the variables, and then subtract the exponent. So you're keeping the base and subtracting the exponent. We talked about this with the multiplication rules, that anything to the 0 power will always equal 1. So that's going to also be important with dividing. So here's some basic examples. We've got a polynomial divided by a monomial, a single term. So you take every term in the numerator. So I'm going to take 6n and divide it by 3. And I'm going to take 12 and divide it by 3. So I'm doing both divisions. I don't have to show this every time. I'm just showing you this so that you see it. So we get 6n divided by 3. We divide our coefficients. We keep the base. So we get 2n. And then 12 divided by 3, we get 4. Over here in the next example, same idea. I'm going to take 5x squared. And I'm going to divide it by 5x. And then I'm also going to take negative 15x and divide it by 5x. So here, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then x squared divided by x is x to the 1st power, but we don't have to put that. I actually don't even have to put this one either. And then minus 15 divided by 5 is 3, and then we have x divided by x, which we said anything divided by itself equals 1. So this is 1, but when we do 3 times 1, it doesn't make or break it. So we kind of just say that this cancels out. So our final and best answer is going to be x minus 3. And then the last example, we've got 16a squared divided by 8a plus 8a divided by 8a. So here we have 16 divided by 8 is 2. A squared divided by a is a. Again, I'm subtracting these numbers in order to get this. And then anything divided by itself is 1. Now, the problem here is we can't cancel this 1 out because we're adding it. Okay? It was different over in this example. Okay? I wasn't adding this x or this 1 to anything. Okay? It was being multiplied, so that's why we can say it cancels out over here, but it doesn't cancel out over here. This is going to confuse some of us, so hopefully we get enough practice in. Okay, so here I'm going to skip the step where I show what I'm dividing, but I'll say what I'm dividing. Okay, so I'm going to take 20n to the 4th divided by 5n squared. 20 divided by 5 is 4. N to the 4th divided by n squared is n squared. Remember, subtracting the exponents. And then I'm going to do the same over here. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. n cubed divided by n squared is n. Take a look at the next one. Okay, same thing. I'm going to take each term in the top here and divide it by the bottom. So 18x cubed divided by 6x ends up being 3x squared minus, I get 4x here. And again, this is another situation where I have plus, and then I'm dividing 6x divided by 6x. I have to put this one here. Okay? Even though we want to probably say it cancels out, because it's being added, it has to stay there. And then here in the last one, I end up getting 5a to the 4th plus a squared minus 2. Here, these a squareds cancel out because they're being multiplied by something. Okay, I could subtract the 2. I don't have to put the a's anymore. All right, so just like with the multiplication and the adding and subtracting, this is just that fancy function notation. So this is saying if f of x equals negative 14x squared y and g of x is 2xy, it's telling me to divide them. So this is actually just a nice single monomial term divided by a monomial. So what ends up happening, 14 divided by 2 is 7, x squared divided by x is x, and the y's cancel out. Okay, down here, I've got negative 24x cubed minus 4x squared divided by 4x. So I get negative 6x squared. I'm dividing the coefficients and subtracting the exponents minus 1x, okay? And ones in front of variables are unnecessary to write, and ones as exponents are unnecessary to write. We don't have to write those. Okay, so these are, I put trouble problems, but they're not really trouble. They're just ones that people will get confused by. So this one here, I divide my coefficients, and again, this is where I subtract my exponents. I get 0, I get n to the 0, and remember, anything to the 0 power is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. So we just get 2, and again, that's the scenario where we say it cancels out. Here, I have 3a b to the second, and then I have to leave the c down in the denominator. I can't move it up to the numerator, and I have to keep the a in the numerator. So that one's tricky. Here, I end up with 3n to the negative second. Okay, we can have negative exponents. However, we are going to see how we handle them in another lesson. Okay, for right now, you can leave that as your answer. Here, okay, I get 1/5 because when I divide that, I get a decimal. We don't want decimals. And then I get a to the negative 3rd power, b to the 4th, and then the c cubes cancel out. Again, we will handle this negative in another lesson. And then here, I get 3, and just 3 because the m to the 5ths cancel out and the n's to the 6th. So just 3. So I labeled this a challenge, but again, if you're just using the simple rules, the only thing challenging is that the numbers are bigger, and I added in 3 variables. Other than that, it's not terribly difficult. So I would pause it and try it on your own, and then I'm gonna do it and you could check. Okay, so hopefully you paused it and this is the answer. Again, all I did was divide my coefficients and subtract my exponents. So now go ahead over to Delta Math and do today's assignment. All right, have a good day.